What's up, locker room? I'm still here in Turks and Caicos, and I got the news that Maxx Crosby just got traded to the Baltimore Ravens. And Brandon, my boy Brandon, on the other show on Netflix on the White House said this would be a good spot for him. And what that defense did last year, you totally have to understand, because I told you guys I thought Ray Lewis, who I talked to last week, was turning over his grave where every time I mentioned and brought up what the defense did over there with the Baltimore Ravens and what they look like sometimes. So Dallas had offered a first and a second round pick. And of course the Raiders were smart enough to know once Dallas got involved, and I want people to understand, once Dallas got involved, and everybody knows Dallas wants Maxx, and Maxx is a great player. I already told you guys that. Not just how he plays on the field, but how his attitude is and what he is. I love Maxx. He's a great dude. He's the kind of dude you want on your football team. And I had visions in, whatever dancing in my head and my brain talking about Maxx Crosby, Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, and whoever else we get on the other side would have been a dominating defensive line. Those visions for Dallas, they're getting a dominating defensive line. It's still possible. You just got to go get somebody now in the draft that can bend that corner, like a Michael Parsons or Maxx Crosby, And they got a few guys in there that can bend that corner. I was listening the other day. I heard some guys talking about, I think my boy Adam, talking about each group got faster in the NFL Combine. I mean, each group was the fastest one. Like, it wasn't just one or two people. It was like almost each group. And they're perfecting this 40-yard dash. They're perfecting the 40-yard dash. But then there's some people that just got what they got. Like that Styles kid, when I compare to Michael Parsons and his physical ability. They just got what they got. So, I'm still very optimistic about what's going to happen this year, because there's still other options out there. Even if the Cowboys are still in the market, and Trey Henderson's still out there, and the Cowboys already said they're going to bring somebody else in, and they're willing to do some dealing this year, so I'm anxious about it. But I want people to be mindful of this and watch it, because that's what the Raiders did. They did a great job. Once they got the Cowboys involved, it's going to be talked about every day. And it was talked about every day. And when you talked about like that every day, that means you get better and better and better, because everybody keeps talking about what a great deal it would be to get you. And the price goes up, up, up. And that's exactly what the Raiders did. They used the Cowboys to drive that price up to 2 first-rounders. I thought a first and a second. And I started breaking it down. I said, okay, wait a minute. Where did the Cowboys get drafted? Where did they draft? They had 12 and 20. Where was the Raiders? Was it worth that? What kind of picks are they getting from? And then I had to break that down, because I said, Michael, now you're being sour. Those are sour grapes. The reality is what I just told you. Would put down my sour grapes. The reality is, once the Cowboys get involved, that number becomes more pliable. They wanted 2 first-rounders. I didn't think they would get 2 first-rounders. I thought they would easily get a first and a second. Right? I thought no one was going to go to 2 first-rounders. I'm not saying Maxx Crosby's not worth it. I just didn't think people would go, especially when they know you want to get out. When they know you want to get out, they usually use that against you, and you don't get top dollar. We knew Maxx Crosby wanted out for a while, but they still got top dollar. 2 first-rounders from the Baltimore Ravens. So congrats to the Baltimore Ravens for getting a great player and a great dude. Congrats to Maxx Crosby for getting out of purgatory. Probably what he considered purgatory, because he was over with the Raiders. But now that they got a lot of young talent coming in at the Raiders, you go get Fernando Mendoza, you put him with Brock Bauer and Ashton Genty, and you got something to begin with, and then you take those 2 first-rounders, and you go try to do more things. So you had a nice young nucleus of talent with the Raiders. It's a nice young talent. So congratulations to the Raiders on building this thing around Fernando Mendoza. Congratulations to the Ravens for getting a great player. And Cowboys. You were right. You were right to hold the line at a first and a second rounder. You were absolutely right. I don't have any problem with it. You know, we have too many holes on defense to give up 2 first-rounders. We can go get somebody, you go get your Bradley Chubb, and then you use those 2 first-rounders. You go get good young rusher. I'm not saying he's Maxx Crosby right now, but we can go get us somebody in the draft. And I like what the Cowboys did. I thought that price was going to be too high. I wouldn't have mind if Cowboys, when they made that offer, a first, second, and a fifth or a fourth or something, to try to sweeten the deal before the Ravens went up to 2 first-rounders. But that's okay. We'll take that. Congratulations to everybody all around. And Jerry Jones, Will McClay, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jr., Charlotte. Y'all did the right thing here. You know, and trust me, they listen. Jerry tells me everything I say over here. Trust me. When I was with Jerry at the Super Bowl, you know what he said to me? He said, Michael, you're the one dude I listen all the time to, because I know where your heart is when it comes to this star. I'm disappointed, but I'm not hurt. I'm not crushed. I'm hurt too. I'm hurt. I'm just be real. Be real. I had visions. And I told you just the other day when I was posting, I saw 60. So I thought that was all going to line up right. But it did not. It's okay though. We still in it. We got to get George signed. We got a lot of good things coming. So excited about what I see with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones. We weren't giving up 2 first-rounders, buddy. We were not making an even swap for Michael Parsons and Maxx Crosby. Love Max. You did the right thing, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jr., Will McClay, Sean, all of us. That's all of us. Yeah. I'm Michael Irvin Jones. You better believe it.